I just want to say thank you for joining. Today we're actually going to be just kind of talking, having a nice little talk about being an author and just recording it. So it's my first time going live, so we'll see how this works out. I just want to thank you guys for being here, and we're going to have like a quick little Q&A session. Oh, you're hearing double. You're hearing double. She said something. You said she's hearing double audio. Is it your phone? Maybe. Okay. So, is everyone else hearing me okay? All right. So just let me know if you don't hear me. If you don't hear me well, I'll try to like speak louder. So. All right, so obviously everyone here knows me. My name is Yolanda Hatcher Wilson. I'm doing a live along with the IR Book Lounge. I think Lisa's here. Lisa, thank you for joining. And Lisa Marshall and Kenya Wright, they are the head of the IR Book Lounge, and they have invited me out here to kind of, oh, I could try to put Lisa on camera. Let's try this. So interesting, it looked like Lisa was easy to add. So we are bringing awareness to female Black authors, and we are just excited to kind of start this new movement along with Kenya Wright and Lisa Marshall, and we are just trying to kind of make this a thing and just kind of talk about bring awareness to other Black authors. And I'm going to be talking about my books that I have written. It's called the Ascension series. So I think I have my kind of moderators here with me, Hanifa and Marielle, and they're going to help me kind of get the conversation going. So again, thank you for joining, and I'm just happy to be a part of IR Book Lounge, and just kind of talk about my book and just let you guys know where I started, how it's going, and what's next. So I guess when you guys are ready, start asking me questions. Okay, so I'm waiting for, sorry, I'm reading at the same time. I'm waiting for the questions to start. So either Marielle or Hanifa, please start asking me questions. All right, okay, yes. So, oh, it's blurry. I don't know how to fix that. It's a blurry your end. All right, so Marielle has asked to tell you all more about my journey as a writer. And I'm also being asked where I'm from, so I'll start with that first. So, of course, my name is Yolanda, and I'm from New Jersey. My family is actually, Guyanese, so, but I was born in America. So we have some questions. Okay, let's start from the beginning. We have tell us more about your journey as a writer, and then we have what inspired you to be an author. So I'll start with those two first. So I since I was young, I used to write little fun stories in my notebooks just for fun, and I used to play with like Barbie dolls and like kind of create these like really elaborate stories when I was young as well. And then so one day I kind of took it seriously, and I just did it for fun until I finished a good part of a whole entire book, probably half of an entire book. And I let my friend Marielle read the story, and she's like, "No, you need to publish this." So I actually did. I actually published it. I actually put myself out there for once and tried to see what would happen. I was super nervous. I'm still nervous. because I guess putting my words out there is just kind of nerve-wracking. So it got as far as 3 books now, so let's just see what happens. All right, and then we have another question. Which part of the book did you have the hardest time writing? I always know the beginning of the story, and I always know the ending of the story. I never know what to put in the middle. So I always start off just kind of knowing what exactly I want to see. I always know my characters. I always know how I want to start, and I always know how I want to end. But the middle, just adding and like adding all the fluff that goes with the story and the climax and all that stuff. Sometimes I have a difficult time writing that. So yes, that was Brian's question. Sean asked, do you listen to music when you write? If so, what do you lean towards? So I don't know if you hear my music right now, but this is my playlist. I have an Ascension playlist that I use to kind of help me get in the mood and everything. And just this is like kind of soft, like I don't even know what to call it. Some people call it airy music. I think that the music kind of helps me. Yes, Lisa, it's so scary. But I'm putting myself out here. So my Ascension playlist is called the Ascension playlist. Is on Spotify right now. So if you guys check it out, see if you guys like it too. I have a lot of maybe 30 something songs on there, so definitely check it out. It's on Spotify. It's called the Ascension Series playlist. Lisa, when you have a chance, can you try to add Kenya back on there for me, please? She just wrote me on Messenger. She wants to join, but she doesn't know how to get back on. And then I have let's see. Brian asks, what comes first for you, the plot or the characters, and why? So I start off with let's see. So Ascension started for me with the plot. So I knew that I wanted to kind of have this story where the characters are kind of, they don't have one way of look, when you look at the characters, there's not one way that you think that they are. They always switch up or change. So maybe they start off as like the good guy when they turn into the bad guy, or they start off as the bad guy and turn into the good guy, or maybe they think they know who they are, but later on they find out that it's someone totally different. I don't know why. I guess it's kind of like what I'm interested in, especially when I create my stories, and even when I watch certain shows, I'm like always interested when there's like a twist like that. So my characters, I think I kind of thought the plot first and then added the characters, and then that way it kind of helped me just build the storyline and build the scenery and all that stuff. And that's just my favorite way to kind of, I start off as a reader at first, and then now I'm a writer. So I'm always trying to fall in love with the characters more than anything, and fall in love with the storyline. Probably least, honestly, because I'm always falling in love with the characters wherever I read. So that's kind of my thing, especially if it's like a love story. Okay. So who gave you that inspiration? My inspiration, it comes from everything. So I could be, it could be a nice, pretty summer day, and I'm just like, something comes to mind, like, that I can write about I can probably write about the scenery or the sun and how it feels on your face and things like that. And then music is like a big part of it, because music makes me feel like, kind of puts me in the mood to like think about, the feeling that I'm writing, rather than just the storyline. I want to kind of evoke a feeling with my reader so they can feel attached to the character or that situation that's happening. And then I have Sharon asked, how many rough drafts did you have until you did the final cut? Oh gosh, I probably created, I can't even count. It's just like you're constantly going at it and trying to make sure that the book, it sounds right and is right. So what I started doing was, I would continuously just reread the entire book from start to finish all the time. And then that helped me to kind of see what went wrong. And sometimes I'll be even in the middle of the book and I'll just add a chapter somewhere just because it just makes more sense that, you know, the transition between the previous chapter and the following chapter made more sense with me actually, you know, adding that chapter and adding a little bit more information to kind of get people to understand what happened and why this character felt this way and why this scene happened next. So that's kind of how I do it. But it's a million rough drafts, and I think my rough drafts are never done. Simply because even if I go back and read the first book in the series, the Ascension, this book is called Volume 1, Part 1, and this book is like my first ever experience with writing an entire novel. And I think when I wrote this, I literally cringe when I go back and read it sometimes because I'm like, I wrote that, like, and I try to, like, you know, it's like all the updates I want to make to it. So eventually I will be updating my books. I think I'll feel better about it after. But I'm always thinking about ways to update it. But some people, you know, they read it and they have no issue. They think everything's completely great for them. But for me as the writer, sometimes I feel like I have to keep changing and updating and getting better. So that's kind of where I come from with that. Oh yes, where did you get the inspiration for the characters, Parker and Luna? So I always read like you know, romance fantasy books. So I'm kind of drawn to like love and like magic and things like that. And what it was for me was just that I was tired of the same story over and over again. And I read a lot of books. So I was tired of the same story where it was just like, you know, the boy meets girl kind of story. And, you know, maybe the boy is like a bad boy or whatever you want to call him. But then he turns better for that relationship or that woman. And it's always just, you know, kind of like a generic kind of setting. And for me, I wanted to write a character that kind of starts off bad and then remains bad throughout the book. And so my main character is the bad guy. And what I did was I kind of had him kind of stay how he is. He didn't change for anyone. He's literally that person, and that's who he's going to be. And that was my kind of my calling to create a character that didn't apologize for who he was, just stayed that way and became that way, and that was it. So that's Parker. Luna, she's also you know, this character who's always trying to do good all the time. And throughout the first 3 books in the series, you kind of see her always trying to make the right decision. She has a lot of responsibility to be this person that everyone will rely on. But in the book I'm writing now, I'm going to kind of show, and you'll see when you read it, but this book I'm writing now is more so kind of about that expectation they have for themselves turning upside down on them. So yeah, so what's the next book that's coming out? There is another book coming out, and it's going to be called Of Spirit and Fire. So Of Spirit and Fire is a book that is going to be it's going to be set in the future, so around 11 years later. And you'll find out why if you're a reader of my books. But it's 11 years later, and the world is different now. So right now, what the difficulty that I sometimes have when I'm writing is just that I have to think about everything that has changed for these characters. What happens now? Is the world going to be the same? Does it look the same? What's the technology like now? How have the characters grown in the future? Do they kind of think differently now that it's 11 years later? So it's like things like that. I have to think of every little detail. Like, what's the current state of the world? Is the world still the same? You know, things like that. So I'm very excited to release Of Spirit and Fire. And I do have about half the story written. So it's going to be probably one of my favorites. and I think you guys will love it too. I'm just kind of working through it, but I do have a sneak peek for you all, so I have to, of course, play that for you and try to figure out on Facebook Live how to do so. So I will definitely do that. And okay, so I know you're very artistic. Do you draw out scenes to help you visualize the characters you create? I actually don't draw out my scenes. What I would normally do is draw the characters, and then the characters kind of, I kind of get pulled into their story, and I want to just keep showing, and you know, I want to keep the story up to find out what they're doing. So I'm also finding out what my characters are doing, same time as you guys are going to be finding out what my characters are doing, because I'm constantly just thinking about what's next for them, and I don't want to let them go. So I'm always like, what else can I do? What, how have they grown in the future? What's next for them? So you all will find that out in a little bit. And I definitely do have sneak peeks. And I can actually share a few chapters of the book too for you all. So where is your book available? So all three books are located on Amazon.com, on Audible. So I do have them all on audiobook. And then I also have them on Apple Music. So yeah, definitely if you read it or if you listen to it, let me know, because I really want to know what you think about it. And how many times do you read your own book after completion? Honestly, I read this third book a lot, because this is like my favorite book that I've written. So this is like whenever I want to go back and just think about or anything. Honestly, the books that came previous before this too. I do read the other books too, because when I'm writing this book that I'm writing now, book 4, I'm constantly having to go back and kind of do research to see if what I'm writing makes sense, or what did that person say back then, or how do I draw from what happened already and put it into a current day and make it now a new story. So that's what I'm kind of reading just for research too. It's kind of funny researching your own story, but that's what I have to do to make this book I'm writing now make sense. But this one I do go back and read sometimes, where I'm just like, I really want to like go back and just reminisce on the characters in this book. The fourth book, there's going to be different characters, but the same characters will be returning, so that'll be fun. And how many times? Okay, no. How would you hope to one day bring your stories to television? Oh yes, like I think that my books, like I'm biased, of course, but I think that my books make a lot of sense on television. I think it'll be kind of up there with like all those kind of romance fantasy type movies. I would love for one day for my stories to be optioned for television, and I would definitely want to be a part of it, because I already have kind of in my head some people that I might want to work with, some actors. So we'll see. Okay, am I working on any other stories or projects? I'm not, just book 4. Everything's about book 4 right now, because I need to know what happens, just as much as I want you guys to know what happens next. So it's going to be something that's going to it's going to make me happy to really put it out there. I just can't wait for it to be done. But it takes so long just to write it that it's going to be probably around the same size as this book. Like my first 2 books were kind of smaller. This book is pretty lengthy. So that's why I guess I'm taking so long too, because I've just been, trying to make it like a very robust storyline, and very epic. Like I want it to be more epic. So as you guys, some of you have already read my book, you'll know that my first 3 books were more of an adult storyline. So it was a bit more catered to the adult. And this book that I'm writing now is going to be more of a YA, young adult. And so it's going to be, I'm kind of toning it down a little bit for this book. So I'm definitely going to be marketing it to the younger group. And there's a reason why. I'm just going to tell you. The reason why is because, as I said earlier, the fourth book I'm writing now is 11 years in the future. So since 11 years in the future, if you read this last book here, you know that the main characters had children. And so the children are now grown up, and it's in the future where they are actually I take it back to the human realm. So they're back in the human realm, and they are, going to school. So I kind of took it back a little bit, and you'll see how they battle within themselves, that connection they have with their realm and the connection they have with the human world. So that's going to be a kind of interesting thing to show you all, and you get to kind of see what happens with them. I missed some questions, but can you scroll? Right there, yeah. So I think we're at yes, I do plan on having a book tour. I actually, a while back, and Shara's asking me this because a while back I actually spoke with what do you call it, Barnes and Noble at a college, and the Barnes and Noble, they actually gave me the go to have a book event there, and then I just didn't do it. Well, the pandemic happened and all of that stuff, so I didn't do it. But I definitely, I'm going to go back and kind of make that happen for everyone, and I will have that filmed and all that stuff, and it'll be a good experience for me. A lot of people on this call kind of know that I'm a brand new author, so literally, like, this is my first 3 books and writing the 4th one. So I'm kind of really new at it, but I'm trying to make sure that I just get all the experience and put myself out there. So this is the year after everything's kind of slowed down with the pandemic. It's this put myself out there and just let everything happen. Just let it happen and share my book with as many readers as I possibly could. Okay, so it says, have you ever traveled as research for your book? In a way, so it's not necessarily that I've traveled to research my book. I've traveled and got inspiration from the travel, from wherever like country I went and things like that, as to write kind of settings for the book as well. So it kind of helped me kind of see what's out there and figure out how to incorporate that kind of setting in my story. So, oh, thank you, Kenya. Guys, Kenya writes on the call. She's literally like my favorite author. So I'm like so excited to be working with her. So I'm like literally a huge fan of Kenya. So it's just like, I'm so happy you're joining. Thank you, Kenya. A lot of people don't know, but I started off kind of reading. I kind of got into kind of like the kind of interracial romance world from reading Kenya's books. I started off with an arrangement of love series, so that was kind of where I started, and Cupid and all of those. So kind of old school Kenya, because she has way more books now. And okay, so then we have yes, I am gonna get the tour going. I promise. I'm just working on it. Yes, it's the year of yes. Would you like your books to transition into movies or no? Yes, definitely. If I'm optioned one day, I will be excited. Like, I'll be just the most happiest person ever, because I feel like I kind of write my books in such a way that it can be an actual movie. So that's something that I would love to happen. I actually, one of my reviews actually said, one of my readers, they wrote something like, this book sounds like a movie, or it reads like a movie. And I was like, just very, very happy that they said that, because I feel like that's where I was trying to go for. I was trying to write like that, to make it feel like a movie. So it's always like every chapter is like a cliffhanger and all of that stuff. So it's kind of like that, So One day, one day. Oh yeah, uh, Kenya, one day I will love to work with you, so we'll see. um, I think any more questions, and then I can actually start kind of telling you guys a little bit more about this Ascension series as a whole. But any more questions? Thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. Yeah, so the first book, so is Ascension. So it's Ascension Volume 1, Part 1, and then Ascension Volume 1, Part 2, and then we have the third one, which is Descension. So actually a quick background on why they're even like listed like this and named like this is because I actually was published before. And now I'm a self-publisher. But when I was published, this was one book. So these two books were one book, and the publisher wanted me to combine them together because they are, as a new author, you'll find that you want to make sure that you can like kind of don't overwhelm your like new readers with with a super long story to start. So that's where that kind of came about. So now we have two books separated, but it was supposed to be just one big book. And then I have the big book, which is Dissension. So, oh, hi, Renee. Okay, when you're ready to put it on screen, hopefully I'm still working with HBO because yeah, a series would be dope too. Would love to plug you in. Yes, Renee, let's do it. I would love that. Um, I am open to anything. Like literally, like Shar said, it is the year of yes for me. So I'm just kind of actually taking the leap of faith here and just doing everything I should be doing as an author, and we shall see what happens. Um, oh, thank you so much. So no, I actually go back and reread my books. I do have my books on audio too. So because it is kind of easier for me to like just listen to my book rather than reading it. And then there's I know people prefer to write or to read physical books, but I do enjoy doing the audiobook process. So for instance, I have the opportunity to work with amazing narrators for my series. So I've worked with Audible to get my series out there. So I have a few really great books on Audible, and those narrators they kind of brought my books to life. So I've worked with the main characters, Jason Clark, which I just love. He's definitely going to come back for book 4, so I'm excited for that. And he's done me the honor of recording a quick snippet that I definitely want to put on for you all in a second after I just explain this the narrators I've worked with. I've worked with Amanda Lee Cobb, which is the female main character for my book, and she has narrated Luna, the character Luna in my book. And then I've worked with John York, which is like amazing. I would love to work with him again. So I have to figure out, sometimes it's kind of like I do a reverse process where I would kind of write for that narrator, if that makes sense. It's almost like writing a movie part for that narrator to come on and narrate. And sometimes when I'm writing, I can kind of hear their voice in my head because I've done audiobooks. And it kind of helps me get excited for that character's scene to happen, or get excited for this book to go out. So I do have I'm going to play it if I can find it. I want to play a little snippet of book 4 for you all, since you're here. And I just appreciate you all just sitting through. I know I had some technical difficulties before, so 1 second while I pull it up. And then can you turn that down for me? I'm just gonna, okay. All right. All right. So, guys, I'm going to play you all just for fun. Um, I know some of you probably haven't even read the series, but it's totally fine. I'm gonna go ahead and play you all a little snippet from book 4, which is halfway done. So this is chapter 9 in the book. So I'm going to play this for you. Give me 1 second. I can make my volume really high. Let's see. Oh, it is. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it. Preview from. Okay. All right. Let me know if you hear it. Ready? Of Spirit and Fire by Yolanda Hatcher. It's a continuation of the Ascension series. I'm so happy to be diving back into this story. I hope you enjoy. I felt them. I felt them all. Luna breathes through the heavy sobs taking over her small frame. We materialized into the foyer at the Dark Court. I briefly left my mate in the comforts of the castle, already having sent a telepathic alert to my brother and brother-in-law. After teleporting Andrus and Cadis back to the scene of the temple, I arrived back to Luna's side. Anya is first to meet us. She rushes around the corner, intent on checking on her sister. Kala joins us next, awaiting her turn in embracing my mate. The Dark Court younglings are asleep, being guarded by the sentinels assigned to them. So that's pretty quick, pretty short little snippet, but so that's the narrator, Jason Clark, like literally my favorite narrator ever. And he's done me the honor of just recording just a little snippet for me, just to get kind of everyone ready and excited for the next book. And he will be back narrating his character. His name is Cassian, the main character of this series. So I just cannot wait for him to come back and narrate this character, because he truly brings my main character to life. He has a way of kind of embodying that character, and as you guys know, my main character is kind of a bad guy, so he doesn't apologize for it. He is a bad guy, and he loves hard, and he loves hard, and he doesn't. He is who he is, and he doesn't care. So he's just going to kind of encounter a lot of stuff that's going to happen in his life that's going to make him think about some of his choices that he's made in his life. So that's going to happen. He has a little bit of difficulty in store for him in book 4. But it's going to be good. I can't wait for thank you. I can't wait for you all to hear the actual entire book. And once finished, I'm going to actually probably start having my narrators start off with actually recording all of it first, just so I can get on top of everything, because it's always like the book comes first, and then I have to send the files over to the studio and then have them record everything. So that's going to be just kind of a long drawn out process. I have to literally give them 3 months. So it takes 3 months for it to be completed, and then they send me the files. I have to listen to everything, make sure nothing's wrong, make sure that the tone is correct, make sure that I have a lot of accents in my book, so make sure the accents are correct, so things like that. So I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background on how the story is. So I did mention I have a lot of accents in the book. So the book is the Ascension series is kind of set in this realm called Anwin, and the realm is a realm that has a lot of different beings in the realm. So, for instance, these beings are called Tyler with Teg. So this is all kind of a background stemming from Welsh mythology. So you'll kind of find when you read the series, it's about you hear about fairies and sprites and druids and all different types of character beings that exist in this realm. And so as with any type of mythology type stories. There are prophecies, there's evil, there's good, there's mates and people who are soulmates that who belong together, and I just love things like that, and I love that type of storyline. So there's a lot of that in my series as well. And so what I'm doing in book 4 is bringing it back to the human realm, and then kind of showing what happens when those two worlds collide. So you have the human realm and you have Anwin, that fairy realm, and they're going to collide in book 4. So that's going to be an interesting little plot for the next book. Also, with the series, you'll find that there's certain lingo that you have to kind of learn throughout the series. So there's different kind of words that you have to like. There's like a little like key in the back of the book. So each book has like this little. See if I can find it here. Each book has a little bit of a key to teach you what everything is. Is it in this one? So yes, so there's a little glossary in the back of the book, and it just kind of breaks out what all of this kind of lingo is, and how to pronounce everything and all of that. And then I have a little breakdown of the different houses. So each kind of region in this series, each region have an elemental. They all have an elemental affinity. So we have fire, water, air. We have spirit. So just different things like that. So I'm really obsessed with kind of like elemental symbols and elemental properties and elemental magic. So you'll find that that's a big part of the story, where you find that these houses are ruled by different kings and queens, and they kind of clash. They don't like each other, or they don't work well together. But they all have to kind of come together for the greater good to defeat like the bad guys. So you'll find that in the series, and you can kind of let me know when you read it. Let me know what you all think about it. So I'm pretty much towards the end of the live, I believe. So I would like to just thank everyone for coming. I'm going to be I know kind of everything wasn't in order when I started the live. It's my first time going on live, so definitely I'm going to be doing this more often, so you guys can jump on and kind of see what updates I have for you all. Thank you. And so what I'm going to do is just choose 3 random people. I need someone to help me put them in a randomizer, and what I'll do is I'll reach out to you. If you won, I'm going to choose 3 people, and 3 people will receive the first book in the series. So you're going to receive the first book in the series, as well as some stickers. So I have the stickers with the logo on it. So that's the series logo, and then I have the first book. So definitely I'm going to reach out to you all and let you know who won. There's 3 random people just for being on my live with me. So I definitely hope you enjoy the story. I hope that you can let me know what you think about it once you start reading it. I'll sign the back of it, so you have a little signature from me. So one day if I ever blow up, you will all have that. You'll have that signature signed book from me. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here and sitting through me rambling on rambling on about the story. And I hope that you all, check it out and let me know what you think. I'm always open to feedback. So, yeah, thank you all. Thank you for all my friends and family members on the call. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. When. All right, guys. I will be in touch and I'll be letting you all know. I'm going to actually post a little snippet from the first chapter on the on my page, so you can check that out. I have a page on Facebook called Author Yolanda Hatcher, so definitely check that page out, like it, follow it, and I'll be able to update you all when I have that snippet up there. And I'll also post my winners there. So my 3 winners I'm gonna pick. Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you.